3, 2, 1. There we go. What up, everybody? This is a live event. I have to say that because a lot of people kind of forget that we do lives and that we don't always, when we upload the replay, people are like, oh, well, what's going on here? So just so you guys know, this is a live event, but we are going to go completely through how to automate your business. I'm actually going to show you guys one of the workflow templates that I built out for my agency and for my personal brand. So we're going to give it a minute to get started here, let some people hop in. But if you're interested in learning seriously how to automate it, how to hire people, how to outsource properly, so that way you don't have to be the one doing the monotonous work. You're the one who's just out building the business, coming up with the big plan, the big ideas. You know, you're the CEO, right? So you should be focusing on the areas that really matter to growing your business, not sitting there writing social media posts, creating copy, all that stuff. So we're going to talk about how I actually started outsourcing, because here's the one kicker, and this is mostly for people watching the replay. But when you're first starting outsourcing, you can't, like, if you get, your first client for say like $1,000 a month, right? You can't really, to pay yourself $1,000 already and just try to survive off of that for a month is difficult, right? So you have to consider all of the other expenses as well, like taxes, like what you expect to spend to get some of the work done. All of that stuff you have to take into consideration. So you have to know, what can you afford to outsource and how can you do it cheaply in the beginning to where you can, work your process, keep building your agency, and then move to the point where you're actually able to hire not only for, people to do the jobs, but look for people that are actual quality to 100% just top quality, top notch. Because when you first start out, you could do that, but you're going to have some capital behind you to do that. So with this strategy that we're going to talk about, you're able to start off cheaply. And then as you grow your agency, as you start to take in more revenue, you're able to start basically improving the quality that you guys have. So let me get over here to the channel icon. More revenue. Just got to shut myself up real quick. Okay. So that way I can read you guys' comments. Terrell, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you here. I think we got a good one tonight. You guys are really going to like this one. So, all right. Now, let's go ahead and we're going to do a screencast. I'm going to walk you guys through the exact internal workflow document that I built out. And if you guys aren't using this platform yet, you're going to want to check it out, just because when it comes to running a business, when it comes to running marketing campaigns, a big thing that you guys hear me preach is always about planning and organizing and strategizing, right? Because that's what you are. You're a strategist. Essentially, your job is to look at someone's campaign and come up with a strategy that's going to help them get better results, get more leads, get more sales, whatever that may be. So that also applies to the other areas of your business, like, coming up with how you want content to be created, revised, and then disseminated across all of your channels. That is a process in itself. So I'm going to show you guys, we're going to hop on over here in a second, and we're going to look directly at the document that I use to train my team, but also, how I used it to basically find out, who I need to hire, what they need to do, and then, what I need to do as far as myself internally to get them prepared to do that job. So let's go ahead and we're going to flop on over really quick. Let me share my screen. All right, so you guys see me. Yay, more me. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to minimize that. All right, so this is the platform that I'm talking about that you guys really need to check out. As far as building charts, building graphs, building workflows, it is the best in my opinion. Let me go back to, it's called lucidchart.com. You can head on over there. The link is also in the description below. If you use that link, we both get a little bit of a discount for a month. So if you feel like helping me out and helping you out, then that link is in the description below, or it will be after this video is over. So you can see, it allows you to build different types of charts. You have educational, business analysis, so for like workflows, mind mapping things. So you can, basically figure out what needs to attach to where, basically what process or what step needs to forward on to the next step. Organizational charts, like I mentioned, flow charts, these are great for building your team. I like to custom build all of mine just because it's easier for me to follow. And I know that sometimes a template isn't just going to do the job. So I usually create mine from scratch. And we just started using Lucidchart. It's finally, it took me a while to find one that was not only affordable, but also had all of the features that I liked and then integrated with other apps. So we're just getting into this, but I really, really do like it a lot. So when we go into operational workflows, you'll see we have the document here that we're going to be going over today. Now, workflows basically for my team internally. Get rid of this. All right, so what we did was we basically wrote out the map to how our team is going to start creating content, who they send it to, where they upload it to, how they notified other team members, and then, all the way up to the point where content is finally loaded. So we drew up this whole process because, when you're first starting off, you're kind of just almost, I don't want to say it, but it is what it is. It's winging it. You're kind of just, finding teammates, finding people to do jobs for you because, you're trying to start a business. You don't have your feet up underneath you yet. You're trying to get everything together and build out your plans. And there's only so much time in a day, right? So you can't always, map out the processes before you actually start taking on the work. A lot of people, their first goal is to get their sales so they can start generating some revenue, right? So that being said, you won't always make money up front, or you won't always, you won't always have time for planning up front. So this is, you can see we're just getting into this kind of stuff and getting into the planning a year into our agency. And a year into doing Serial Entrepreneur. And that's just because, again, when you're bootstrapping it, guys, it's how it goes. So, I want you guys to know this isn't just you. You guys aren't the only ones having to bootstrap things and figure things out. Every entrepreneur goes through those stages and has to put in the extra time and effort to get things done the right way. So I wanted to go through this, though, because it is super useful for you guys looking to hire a team or looking to automate your business processes for your marketing agency, because this is exactly what you're going to need to do for your social media marketing content. So let's just go through this workflow really quick, and we'll kind of talk about why I have specific steps in here, and then how it kind of flows. So step one, what we have done is, and you guys might have noticed if you're in our free Facebook group, which if you aren't in our free Facebook group, you definitely need to check it out. It's in the description below. But we posted like 3 job listings in the last 3 days in our private Facebook group because we're taking on a lot of new people. We just basically worked out 2 new sales agents. We hired a creative director. We hired a new copywriter. We've had a great graphic designer that's been working with us for the past month. So we're doing a lot of changes and upgrades as usual. But what this first part is about is one of those people that we hired, which is that creative director. Okay. And he isn't 100% hired yet, but we are pretty confident that it's going to work out. So we're hoping for the best there. And we think that he has a good head on his shoulders and that he'll be able to do the job. So, basically this guy's job, though, is to sit there and say, okay, Jordan has a YouTube channel, a Facebook, an Instagram, and a Snapchat. Now, obviously, we have our Twitter channel and our Google Plus channel as well. But these are the big 4. These are the big 4 for any business, really, and the big 4 that we want to focus on. The other channels we just syndicate content to, and you can actually see that down here. Channels like Twitter, Google Plus use syndicated content. This means that you'll just take the post from Facebook and reformat/reuse it for Twitter and Google Plus. That's it. So the creative director is responsible, though, for creating content for YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. All right, so what their job is to research or create the topic for YouTube is to research or create the topic for the video and mention what you want the style of the video to be. Informational, how-to, a walkthrough, a whiteboard type video, maybe motivational. That he's the one who says, okay, I'm going to do a bunch of research. We're going to figure out what people are searching for, what videos are going to be the most useful, what's going to get us a lot of engagement and views. And I'm going to create topics for, 2 weeks. And that's what they do here for YouTube. Then they do it for Facebook, they do it for Instagram, they do it for Snapchat. And there's different strategies for each. Obviously, if it's a different social media platform, they're not going to behave the same as others. So we leave them some examples inside of our document here, inside of our workflow. All right, so now that we've given them the creative, or now that step one, obviously the first step is always to create the content, right? So that's why step one is right here, content and post type idea phase. That's where this creative director is the person who comes in and content director, or really, creative director creates content topics and posting styles for all of those channels. That's it, right? So then what happens, right? So content director then uploads the ideas for each channel to the appropriate calendar on Asana as an event and adds the copywriter and designer to the event. Really, it should say event, not post, to the event. All right. So what that means is basically the content director finishes their job up here, and then they say, okay, we need to notify the next person. So the content director, the creative director, notifies the copywriter and the designer via Asana. If you guys haven't checked out Asana yet, you definitely need to check that out. That'll also be in the description below after this video. So make sure you check the posted video or the reposted or replay video to check out Asana. I'll show you my Asana really quick. So Asana is a really cool planning tool, team app. It's kind of like Trello if you've ever used that, but it allows you to basically map out. If it will show me, there we go. So you can see all of the events that we have uploaded. We're just getting into using Asana a whole lot now. We're getting all of our team members on it. So, that's the biggest thing we're working on, is focusing on efficiency and making sure that everything's getting done properly. So we're going through our channels and doing all of that. But Asana is a great way to upload these events, create calendars and stuff like that, and then collaborate with your team along with Google Drive. If you guys aren't using Google Drive, you definitely should get on some sort of drive, whether that's Google Drive, Dropbox, whatever. As long as you're using a Drive account where people can collaborate, you should definitely make sure that you have one of those for your agency. So let's get into the next part, which is copywriter and design first draft. So after the creative director comes up with the content, right? Once they decide what's the posting style, what's the posting type, what is the content going to be about, what days are they going to go out, what time periods are they going to go out, they send those ideas over to the copywriter and designer. So what happens here? In this step, basically, the copywriter creates all of the copy for the different channels and submits it not only to the proofer, which is the third step down here. He submits it to the proofer, but then the copywriter also submits it to the designer, because the designer might have elements like inside of a YouTube video that he needs to write copy for, or she needs to write copy for. In this case, it's a he. So he might need copy, like for right here where we have the thumbnail. We want our copywriter writing the thumbnail copy. That's the job of a copywriter, not a designer. A designer doesn't necessarily know the best wording or phrasing to use. So the copywriter takes the thumbnail copy and then sends it over to the designer. The designer makes the adjustments, and then bada bing, bada boom, you got a video. We do the same thing for Facebook. We do the same thing for Instagram. And then we do the same thing for Snapchat, right? And these are just our rules and our guidelines for the types of posts we're looking for this brand. So you would want to make sure to outline a lot of this stuff for your clients and make it specific to your client, okay? So now that the copywriter and designer have taken all of the photos or copies or ideas basically from up here from the copywriter, from the creative director, then they're going to want to move to the next step, which is where they send that information over to the proofer. Now, the proofer basically just goes through everything that the copywriter and designer created. So they're going to upload all of these posts to their, to the specific section on the calendar on Asana. So once they finish, you can see copy and creative should be focused around getting people to click to where is it? Copy and creative for Twitter and Google Plus need to be syndicated. So it looks like Maybe I left it up here. Yeah, uploaded. So in this step, the copywriter and designer need to check Asana for the ideas to be created for a channel. Once the first drafts are created, they should be uploaded to the necessary location on Asana, and the proofers should be updated that they're available for review. So then the proofer's job is to do a review of that content and make sure that it's on the right track. Also, they will make suggestions for changes. So that's essentially this step right here. They look at everything that they've uploaded to Asana for the different posts. So they look at YouTube, they look at Facebook, they look at Instagram, and they look at Snapchat, and they say, okay, what are the posts for these topics on those channels? Cool. Do they work? Does the video line up with copy? Great. If it does, then they basically move on to the next step, where the proofer takes all the notes that they collected about that specific article or post or video, whatever, and they send it back to the copywriter and the designer. So you have to have someone do the proofing, right? You need to have someone there. So that's why you hire someone who's able to just proof content. That's all they do. They sit there and they say, cool, that video looks good. It lines up with the copy. Perfect. So then if there are revisions to be made, they send those to the copywriter and designer. That's great. They make those revisions there. And then the last thing that's going to happen here is, so if there are revisions, then the copywriter and designer get another notification saying, hey, make these final revisions, and then we're done. And then they'll submit it back to the proofer. If there are no revisions, which usually doesn't happen, there's usually like 1 or 2 small revisions to be made. So those will go back here, and then they'll shoot it back for final content to be submitted. But if there are no revisions to be made, obviously it just gets to step 5, where they have the final content submitted to the scheduler. This is what the proofer does. Okay, so the final content gets submitted to our scheduler, and the scheduler is someone we hire on Upwork to basically just sit there and go into each platform and take all of the content that we created from all up here and submit it to the proper channel and schedule it to be, disseminated. The cool thing is, this person, the scheduler, you can hire from India, the Philippines, you can hire from anywhere dirt cheap, $2, $3 an hour, seriously. And they'll sit there and they'll schedule all your content. You will want to do training for each little area. So what we're actually working on doing, like I'll be finishing this up tomorrow. I'm going to be creating training videos for the creative director, for the copywriter, for the designer, for the proofer, and for the scheduler. And each of the videos will basically just show them how to walk through their job. And a really cool tool for that, if you guys haven't ever seen it before, Screencast-O-Matic. I believe it's $11 or $12 for the year or something. It might be $15 now. I think it just said $1.50 per month. But seriously, it's super cheap. And it is, so you can see it's this tool right here. It's cloud-based. So they take all of your recordings. You can see we have 92 screencaster recordings caught on this account. So they save all of the recordings, so you don't have to actually save them to your computer. And you can pull them back up at any time and go through them. But it's a really cool screencasting tool. This is how we do all of our screencasting inside of the course and for YouTube, stuff like that. But again, it allows you to shoot these videos for these people, so that way they're able to do their job more effectively, and you're able to get, quick training done without having to go in person and meet with these people. It's the best thing about online, guys. You guys have to figure out the resources that are available to you, because once you do, it makes your job and your life a whole lot easier. But this is basically the steps for getting content created for social media channels. And you guys will want to do this for basically every branch or every vertical of your business, whether that's SEO, PPC, blog content, video creation, whatever. It's not fun. I'll tell you that straight up, guys. It's not that fun. But here's the thing. When it comes to you not having to do all of this work every single day and being able to pass it off to someone else, it makes it so worth it when you finally get done creating one of these workflows, because now all I have to do is shoot a quick video for each little section, which will take 3 to 5 minutes each for each one, and basically just tell them how to do the job. And then from there, I don't have to do this job anymore. It's all them. Basically, I just sit here and make sure that the proofer is doing their job, because the proofer is the final, they're like the final defense, or the last defense. They're the ones who sit there and say, okay, this post is great, it can go out. and they make it to where you don't have to sit there and monitor this stuff. I've been talking with a lot of my students recently, and they're talking about, a lot of the biggest issue that people have once they start making revenue and making money is they don't know how to scale. They don't know how to take it to the next level to where they can start making, $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month, and not feel like they're drowning. If you guys, feel like you're drowning, I want to see somebody write some comments in here. Hold on, let me pull up. Oh, you guys might have been talking to me this whole time. Where's my video? There it is. Oh God. Yeah, y'all have been chatting away and I've just been talking. All right, let me catch up and see what everybody's been saying. James, what's going on, man? Always on time with the content. Do you have some course? Omar, we definitely have a course. I think Derek got it to you. The Dark Knight. Yeah, make sure you watch it later. Trust me, you're going to want to look at this document. I said the same thing, very timely. Dude, you're better than Mr. Lopez. King Truth, I really appreciate that, guys. But, if you guys are struggling to find time in your day, then this is the first thing you need to start doing. You have to make time to start prioritizing basically what's going to get jobs done quicker and cheaper. Because a lot of the issue or a lot of the expense comes down to when you're hiring cheap work, they aren't necessarily getting the job done most effectively, which means it requires more of your time and it costs more money because of the fact that you're having to do things more than once when it should just be able to get done one time if it's done by a professional. So here's kind of the stages that I wanted to talk to you about with regards to scaling your business, and kind of something that I did in the beginning and then what I'm doing now. So you can see what I'm doing now. This is more of the later on plan where you start to, take on more business. You start to need to free up your time more to do other things to make sure that your business grows. This is the later plan. Like, this is what you want to start later. The initial plan, what you need to do, what I recommend doing so that it's affordable, is to go on Upwork and find someone that runs an agency. So here's a little trick that you guys might not be aware of. And if you guys want access to the girl that I use, they are a great team to use in the beginning. They're just not a team you want to grow with forever. But they're like I mentioned, a great team to start off with. They're affordable. They do a lot of work for you. I think they put in like 10 to 15 hours a week, and you only pay them $300 a month. So, you get a lot of work out of that. Actually, I think it's 15 to 20 hours per week, and you only pay them $300 per month. And that includes social media marketing and a little bit of SEO. So you guys, here's the strategy. You want to find an agency on Upwork that does kind of a little bit of it all. They do the digital marketing, or not marketing, but they do social media marketing, scheduling, and post creation. But they can also do a little bit of video editing. They can also do a little bit of SEO. It makes it more affordable. And then you'll want to find specialized people, and you can find them. It's hard, but you can find them blog writers who write really great content. And that's the thing. You'll have to do some training. The girl that I get that writes my blog articles, she does a great job now, but it took me a while to train her to do everything that I needed her to do with regards to SEO and writing engaging content. So you can find people cheap and then train them and teach them, the right way to do things, or, what they're missing out on with their agency or with their writing skills or whatever skill set that it is. So that way, they do really just a better job. Do you think they would be a good fit for a real estate client? They who? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Terrell. Do you think they would be a good fit for real estate? Oh, you're saying the outsourcing team. Okay. Yeah, I mean, they actually manage one of my real estate teams now. The biggest thing comes down to, if you're not organized, if you're not proactive, then they will, it's not going to be it. And this doesn't matter if it's you guys hiring professionals or if it's you hiring, your starting off team. If you aren't proactive, if you aren't the one, on a day-to-day basis, making sure that content is getting scheduled, that it's getting revised, that it's getting checked and approved, then it doesn't matter how good the agency is. You're still a key factor in the creation and then the workflow of that operation. And if you're not there to talk to these people and to make sure, we need this kind of content, you're basically the idea man. That's what they leave it up to. You will sit there and say, this is the kind of content we want to see. For these 2 weeks, this is what I need the content to look like. And then they execute for you. So you're the project manager in a sense. Caleb Bime says, hey, Jordan, how do you go about getting a client to sign a contract? Getting a client to sign a contract. Here's the thing. I haven't been running contract. If you want me to be completely honest, for the first year, we didn't do contracts, which was, it had its good and its bad. It allowed us to get customers and to get people to trust us. So that's what I recommend. If you guys are newer, consider not running with a contract at first to start picking up your first couple of clients. But if you, and I'm going to end this, so you guys can look at my pretty